Have you ever wondered how the ultra-wealthy seem to live by a different set of financial rules? Imagine a world where debt isn't a burden, but a powerful tool, a realm where taxes are optional and wealth grows exponentially while the rest of us struggle to make ends meet. This isn't science fiction. It's the reality of how the 1% manage their money. In the quiet, unassuming town of Brattleboro, Vermont, lived a man named Ronald Reed. Born in 1921, Ronald's life seemed ordinary at best. He worked as a janitor and a gas station attendant, jobs that put food on the table but never came with a hefty paycheck. From the outside, Ronald's life was one of simplicity. He wore old clothes held together with safety pins, drove a battered second-hand car, and lived in the same modest house for decades. To anyone passing by, Ronald Reed appeared to be a man content with getting by, just another face in the crowd. But underneath that humble exterior was a story that would shock everyone. Ronald was not just getting by, he was in fact thriving silently. While he swept floors and pumped gas for a modest wage, Ronald harbored a secret. Ronald was a self-made millionaire. When he passed away in 2014, he left behind a fortune that topped $8 million. How could a janitor and gas station attendant with no financial training and a modest salary amass such wealth? Ronald's story is just the tip of the iceberg. It's a glimpse into a world where financial wisdom and discipline can transform even the most modest income into substantial wealth. But what about those who start with millions or even billions? How do they grow their fortunes to staggering heights while paying less in taxes than their own employees? Join us as we pull back the curtain on the closely guarded financial strategies of the ultra-wealthy. From offshore tax havens to leveraging debt, we'll explore the tactics that have allowed the 1% to amass and protect their wealth for generations. Prepare to be shocked, inspired, and perhaps a little outraged as we uncover the secrets of how to manage your money like the 1%. But what if I told you that some of the wealthiest people pay less in taxes than their average employees? Enter Warren Buffett and a revelation that jolted the nation. Imagine this. It's 2011, and Warren Buffett, one of the most revered investors in the world, casually mentions in an interview that he pays a lower tax rate than his secretary. It wasn't just an offhand remark, it was a seismic revelation. Warren Buffett, the billionaire CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, disclosed that his effective tax rate was approximately 17.4%, while his secretary, Debbie Bosonic, paid about 35.8%. You might think, how is this even possible? Well, it all boils down to the different ways income is taxed in the United States. For someone like Buffett, whose wealth predominantly comes from capital gains and dividends, the tax rates are significantly lower. On the other hand, Debbie, like millions of salaried employees, is hit with higher income tax rates and payroll taxes. Buffett's candid disclosure wasn't just a comment on his tax returns. It ignited a firestorm. A national conversation erupted over the fairness of the tax system, capturing headlines and igniting debates across dinner tables and political arenas alike. This wasn't just a matter of numbers. It was a matter of justice and economic equity. The discrepancy led President Obama to propose the Buffett Rule, which aimed to ensure that high earners, those pulling in over $1 million annually, would pay a minimum tax rate. While the Buffett Rule never made it into law, its mere proposal showcased the urgent necessity of tax reform and spotlighted the glaring inequalities in the system. But Buffett wasn't an isolated case. Fast forward to the story of Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. Between 2014 and 2018, Bezos's wealth ballooned by $99 billion, according to IRS data obtained by ProPublica. Despite this astronomical increase, his reported income was just $4.22 billion, and the federal taxes he paid were minuscule in comparison. How could Bezos get away with paying such little tax? The answer lies within a labyrinth of legal strategies: charitable foundations, tax shelters, itemized deductions, and other intricate mechanisms designed to minimize tax liabilities. These tools are perfectly legal, but they bring to light a poignant question. Is the tax system fair? Journalistic investigations, such as those spearheaded by ProPublica, have provided a rare inside look into the tax practices of billionaires. These revelations not only validate Buffett's claims, but also underscore a systemic issue where the ultra-wealthy can legally navigate their way to paying substantially lower tax rates than ordinary citizens. The profound impact on society is undeniable. A tax system that favors capital income over earned income tiptoes around fairness and perpetuates economic inequality. This isn't just a theoretical debate, it's a lived reality for countless Americans who are working hard yet find themselves paying more, percentage-wise, than someone who earns their income through investments. But where does this gap originate? The answer might surprise you as we delve into the mysterious world of offshore tax havens, where vast fortunes are hidden and protected. Imagine a world where the labyrinthine corridors of global finance serve not just the few, but you. Picture yourself navigating these passages, each step taking you closer to understanding how the ultra-rich guard and grow their wealth. This knowledge isn't just a peek behind the curtain, it's a blueprint for your financial freedom. Let's embark on this journey by unraveling one of the most controversial yet fascinating secrets of the 1%. Offshore tax havens. These aren't just obscure financial terms. The reality is far more intriguing. The world's wealthiest understand that within the lines of the law lie opportunities that most overlook. They establish companies and trusts in tax-friendly jurisdictions like the Cayman Islands, Bermuda, and Switzerland, places where tax rates range from minimal to nothing. The allure of offshore tax havens isn't about breaking the law, it's about skillfully using the law to one's advantage. Remember the Panama Papers leak in 2016? That colossal leak by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, ICIJ, unveiled the hidden billions secured by the world's elite in these offshore nests. While entirely legal if done right, this practice underscores the gap in national tax regulations, a gap they slip through with finesse. But the strategies don't stop there. Next, let's dive into the realm of private equity and hedge funds, a financial playground where high returns are almost a norm. Unlike the average stock market investments, these vehicles offer substantial gains but come with a catch. They require hefty minimum investments and a ticket into exclusive circles. According to the National Bureau of Economic Research, NBER, private equity often outperforms public markets over long stretches, significantly boosting the wealth of those with access to them. As we've journeyed through the intricate world of wealth management employed by the 1%, we've uncovered strategies that seem almost mythical to the average person. From Warren Buffett's startling tax revelations to the labyrinthine offshore havens exposed by the Panama Papers, we've seen how the ultra-wealthy play by a different set of rules. But let's pause for a moment. This isn't just about envy or outrage. It's about understanding. It's about recognizing that while these strategies may seem out of reach, they hold valuable lessons for all of us. Remember Ronald Reed, the humble janitor who amassed millions? His story reminds us that wealth isn't just about high-flying jobs or inherited fortunes. It's about discipline, patience, and making informed decisions. While we may not have access to offshore accounts or private equity funds, we can still apply the principles of living below our means and investing wisely. The buy, borrow, die strategy employed by figures like Larry Ellison shows us the power of leveraging assets. While we may not be borrowing billions against our stock portfolios, we can learn to view debt not just as a burden, but as a potential tool for growth when used responsibly. The revelations from the Panama, Paradise, and Pandora Papers aren't just scandalous headlines. They're wake-up calls. They challenge us to demand more transparency, more fairness in our financial systems. They remind us that our voices and votes matter in shaping economic policies. As we conclude this journey, let's not be discouraged by the vast wealth gap. Instead, let's be inspired to take control of our financial futures. Let's educate ourselves, make informed decisions, and advocate for a more equitable system. The strategies of the 1% may seem like a distant dream, but the principles behind them are accessible to all. It's about shifting our perspective, being proactive, and understanding that true wealth isn't just about the numbers in our bank accounts. It's about financial freedom and security. So as you leave this exploration of how the 1% manage their money, ask yourself, what small step can you take today to better manage your finances? What lesson from the ultra-wealthy can you adapt to your own life? Remember, every financial empire started with a single smart decision. Your journey to financial mastery begins now.